Holy shit. Akira Toriyama has passed away on March 1st, and the news just broke about an hour ago. And I don't think I need to say who Akira Toriyama is. If you clicked on this video, you know who he is. And it's so tragic. I grew up with Dragon Ball Z specifically. I watched it on Toonami. I watched Dragon Ball Z Kai. I remember watching Super when it first came out. I watched Broly. I watched Superhero. And I even own the Dragon Ball manga, the Buu Saga. I don't own the entire manga, but I bought that specific volume because I wanted to see the end and read the end of Dragon Ball. And man, it is tragic. Dragon Ball and Akira Toriyama's work has been something that has really inspired me. It inspired me to work out. It inspired me to hone my body, to strengthen myself, much like series like Baki or other anime where with martial arts anime have inspired many other people. It's done the same for me, and I really just can't even put into words how big of a loss this is. Like, so many people all over the world love Dragon Ball. Like, I'm not that big of a Dragon Ball fan, but I even feel how big this hits. And to think that it happened over a week ago and it's only now coming out, it is insane to think about. I got with me here my my Kaioken Goku, because I wanted to get it on hand before I made this video, which it's gonna be all over the place. But yeah, I just really want to talk about Dragon Ball and Akira Toriyama and what the series means to me. And I do want to mention, I know that there is a lot of problems in Dragon Ball and Akira Toriyama's works, and I believe that as a creator, he moved on and moved past those issues and grew for the better. And even with those issues, Dragon Ball as a series and as a franchise has reached so many people. And so many people love it from all walks of life, from all over the world, that I think those issues can be like, while we pay attention to the impact that it's had. I remember watching. I remember I was on my great grandmother's house one day, and I was really young. I was sitting in the TV room, and Go Tanks was on screen during the Buu Saga. I don't know what channel it was on, but I remember so specifically that being one of my first exposures to Dragon Ball, because here's Go Tanks with his Super Saiyan hair, and he's going, and oh man, I remember that. I think that was one of my first exposures to anime, and that's the big thing with Dragon Ball, is that it was the gateway. It was the gateway drug for a lot of people, and I'm a sucker for shonen, so seeing Dragon Ball develop over time, and man, I remember whenever Mastered Ultra Instinct was airing. I remember watching all the celebrations. I remember watching the Thanksgiving parade whenever Goku Super Saiyan Blue was in the Macy's parade. I remember I remember that. Oh man, I remember whenever I first watched uh, Dragon Ball Z abridged, there were parts in that it's made me gut laugh, man. Like belly laugh. Brought me to tears at some of them, and then watching the I remember recently I watched Totally Not Mark's documentary videos of him reviewing each of the Dragon Ball parts. Um, I never really watched Dragon Ball as much as others did, but like, man, he's Akira Toriyama, and just his work is just such a huge inspiration for so many people. Like, I just can't emphasize that enough. Even as loss of words as I am, right? I'm all over the place, but yeah, like I already mentioned about working out, but in other things as well of working towards my goals and uh, trying to be the best at what I do and trying to be better every time I do something, even if it's barely any progress. Just keep moving forward and all that. It just sucks to see him go so early. I expected I expected the news to crack when I was in my 30s, right? Akira Toriyama peacefully passed away in his sleep at the age of 110. But here we are, 2024, passed away from, I think, what was it, a hemorrhage in his head that was like super unexpected at the age of 68. That's wild. He had projects still in the works too, and I know that there are people like Chrono Trigger fans that will be hit by this, or people that really like Doctor Slump or Dragon Quest, right? Like he is so ingrained into so much pop culture. It is just so wild. It is so wild. And I was laying in bed and the news came out and I was like, what? And I knew I had to make a video on it. I knew I did. Especially because, well, this guy's right here, uh, but yeah, I, yeah, that's all my thoughts really. It's tragic. Dragon Ball Z has inspired me. I know that there's going to be so many people out there that will feel heartbroken. I just read Eiichiro Oda's, the creator of One Piece's, like message on Twitter, and God, man, it is so crazy that that's happening now. I wish everyone out there that are Dragon Ball fans or fans of Akira Toriyama's works the best. Celebrate his life and his accomplishments. Like, keep your head up. I think everything will be okay. But yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you all so much for watching. You know what to do. Bye bye. Bye bye. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. Oops.